you're no longer competing with a person in your country for a job, for that job. If you are a United States citizen, it's no longer, oh, I'm competing with Dennis for a job and I'm in Florida and they're in LA. Like, it's no longer that. It's you're competing with me and I'm in South Africa.
I thought I was on top of the world. I was great, top performer at my company, got shout outs from our partners, great accolades from our managers, right? But it did not matter.
Am I the only one who's really struggling to secure a job these days?
4 years, getting a degree that I even had to apply to get in at a top business school in the state of North Carolina. And for me to still be employed 3 months later is literally insane.
This is your sign to not quit your job.
In the past month alone, since April, I put in about maybe 400 applications.
I'm 30 years old. I am unemployed. I've been unemployed for 4 months. I literally can't get a job.
You're desperate, no one wants to buy from you, and now you're sunk.
Running away from the problem, isn't the right solution.
Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm Intabi Singh, and in this video I'll be sharing with you interesting TikTok videos that I am scavenging throughout the day and finding on various topics that you will enjoy with me, and I will give you my little hot take either throughout the video or towards the end. So sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Sometimes I really just can't be asked to go work, and I just feel like working so long, and like I just wish I could sit at home all day and do nothing and just be this sport that's exploded on my and I remember what it's like to be unemployed, and to be honest, it just makes me want to put on my uniform and ask for more shit. Being unemployed does not bang. You lot that are unemployed talking about rev up them fryers, talking about, oh yeah, you lot that gotta work. Bro, I promise you, you'll be unemployed for like 2 months. The first 2 months of being unemployed, 30. Oh my days, do whatever you want, wake up whatever time you want, no responsibilities. By about 2 months in, 3 months in, bro, it just gets so dead. You start deep in that raw. I'm actually unemployed and I've got no money coming in at any point in time. Unemployment comes miserable. So you're gonna see all your friends getting lit, having fun, getting money, as well as working, while you're just sitting at your yard doing nothing, not progressing anyhow. Bro, take it from me, it's dead, bro. I was unemployed for a while, but you man saw how I was grinding to get a job. Like, it gets to a point where you just start getting desperate. Like, you'll work anywhere, you'll do anything for a bit of peace, bro. So to anyone that doesn't want to go into work today, make sure you go. Hang on to your job with both hands, no diddy. Last thing you want is to be unemployed, especially in this flipping economy.
I could talk about this now because I've gotten past it, but the job market has been trash, and it's been trash every single time I've needed to look for a job. It took me 6 months to find the current job that I'm at, and what's crazy about that, it's not in any of the 2 degrees that I have, and I had no experience prior to what I'm doing now. But what was so frustrating during those 6 months of applying was the fact that I had the degrees, I had the experience, and I was qualified, and these jobs did not want to pay, first and foremost, and second of all, it's like all my credentials didn't matter, or they were like ghost posting, so like jobs posting that they're hiring, but they're really not, but they just have the posting out there. And overall, it was just really frustrating. Last time I was applying for jobs, it took a little bit longer, but still at least like 6 months before I found anything. And back then I had like no experience, and even still with the experience I have now, 2 degrees, experience in both of the fields, was not able to find a job in those areas, or was not able to get a job in those areas. And honestly, during that time, I had to really figure out a game plan of what I'm going to do to not be put in that situation again. So really focusing on like business ventures and things to bring in money outside of working a 9 to 5. That's never really been what I've wanted to do per se, but having what jobs say that they want and them still not hiring you, or if they want to hire you, not willing to pay more than like 16 or 18 an hour. And y'all know that's not enough. That is not a living in today's economy by any means. But it really just showed me even more so. It just emphasized what I already knew, is to develop something for yourself and make it profitable. But it blows my mind every single time. Like, I got these degrees for what? I have this experience for what? I'm working for a contracting company right now. That's what I'm doing. That was nowhere on my board of expertise, but here I am. You know what? You figure out things and you make it work. But yeah, the job market's trash. Has always been trash, I feel like, since I've gotten out of college. But hopefully things will change in that area. But
Can't be the only person who feels like this. So I'm 30 years old. I'm unemployed. I've been unemployed for 4 months. I literally can't get a job. I've applied to over 150 jobs. I now have negative $4.41 in my savings account because of the monthly service fee that just hit. I don't know when I'm going to get a job. I feel very lost. This feeling of being unemployed and applying to jobs and retailing your resume, getting rejected, and then seeing the job reposted literally 2 weeks later is demoralizing. And remembering that I am still worthy and I am still valuable has been very difficult. I left my last job because it was destroying my mental and physical health. I liked the job, but I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I applied to a new job, and I was going to make the most money I was ever supposed to make in my life. And they laid me off 4 days before I was supposed to start due to company reorganization. And I haven't been able to find a job since. I don't have a Roth IRA. I don't have any type of investment accounts. I don't know if I'll ever own a house. I am married, but we're both children, to be quite honest with you. I live in an apartment that we can no longer afford because I lost my job, moved down here for the job that laid me off 4 days before I was supposed to start. So when you sign a lease, you just can't get out of it like that. That's not how that works.
I have been unemployed for what's about to be 6 months, and my unemployment is about to run out. At this point, I'm just trying to really understand what is it that the job market is looking for. They say they want years of experience, but they won't give you a chance. Or you network with people, and that really doesn't get you anywhere. You have the qualifications and the degrees, but still no bites. I've applied to over 500 jobs, and I've either been rejected by them quickly with an email, or I just don't get a response at all. Or I've gone on 3+ interviews, and then they tell you that they've gone with another candidate. And let me not even get it started on working with recruiters, and some of them either ghost you or they just forget about you and don't present you to other companies. Then my neighbor, she's in the same predicament, who's also been without a job for almost a year. And this is a woman who's highly qualified for many jobs. The 2024 job market sucks, and it's just I don't know what they're looking for. And it really starts to make you question yourself as a person, is it me? Am I not qualified enough? You start to question your skill set, because it's what do y'all want? LinkedIn doesn't work, Indeed doesn't work. And I'm not giving up because I'm still trying, but it's what is it that y'all need? And I've done the networking. I've sent my resume out to random companies just, while I'm on the computer. Even while I'm driving, I'm writing down companies. At this point, I'm just not sure what else is going to work. I just would like a job.
So tell me, am I the only one who's really struggling to secure a job these days? I have been sending my application to probably at least 10 companies each day, and I still can't get a friggin' job. So what am I missing here? Am I just stupid or what?
I wish I was one of those people that knew what their talent was, one of those people who, I'm good at nails, or I'm good at hair, and I can just go make a whole bunch of money. Today is 3 months since I got fired. And it's crazy because I remember asking my supervisor or CEO, so what happens with me now? And they said, I don't know. And the fact that I don't know either is crazy. And I think today it just seems to really be bothering me because I think a healthy work environment is important. And I did not like my job, It was cool to me. I enjoyed it. I thought I was going to be there for a long time. And so now it's what's next? And I don't know. I'll probably delete this later, but I'm just a girl.
Our market is so bad right now that when you're trying to apply for a job, your ratio of even getting the job that you're applying for is 0 to none. Also, if you have a job, the job market is so bad that your job is overworking you and still paying you the same salary. They're switching up schedules on you, giving you more work, less pay, cutting budgets on you, pretty much jerking you around all around because they know where the job market is. They know even if you're looking for somewhere else to go, that's also going to probably jerk you around, that they could take advantage of you. Right now, it's like employment abuse going on. Like, you literally are underpaid, tired, and stressed out if you have a job. And if you don't have a job, you're stressed out because you can't find a job and you've been applying to over 100 places pretty much a week, or you've been unemployed for more than 2 years trying to find a job. The job market right now is so bad that you're literally getting abused as a human being. It's super sad.
Hi, my name's Marlene. I'm the unemployed grad and I'm trying to find a job in Manchester. I graduated from the University of Cambridge 3 months ago and I'm struggling in this job market, as are many people. I know I'm not alone in this, but it doesn't make it any easier. So spend the day with me whilst I interview for a job that I eventually do get rejected for. Huge spoiler alert, I'm so sorry. But let's get on with the day. I got up and got ready, made myself a cup of tea straight away, drank that whilst I did some final interview prep. I booked my interview for the morning so that it would be out the way early and then I could just get on with the rest of my day and not be worrying. But clearly I was still worrying, and honestly it's just a testament to how much I actually wanted this job. I don't feel like this is about every job. That is for sure.
5 minutes of the interview, I am so nervous. I feel like I'm really well prepared, but obviously I feel like I've been well prepared for most of the interviews that I've had this summer, so fingers crossed, I'm gonna be fine. I'm intelligent, I'm capable, I'm worthy. I deserve employment. I can do this job. I already have the job. They would be lucky to have me. It was really fun, like they were really nice, but I feel like I'm gonna throw up. So they said they're gonna get back to me Thursday or Friday with the results. We had a great chat. However, I couldn't answer the last 2 questions. But then we had a really good conversation at the end that was like about social media and like how to use it and how I could actually like help them, like, I don't know.
I'm not quite sure what kind of humiliation ritual this falls into, but there was me absolutely making a fool out of myself. I'm feeling like I'd done a really good job. And the thing is, who's to say I didn't do a good job? Competition right now is so unbelievably high, and there are people out here with so much experience, and I don't even blame employers for choosing other people. I ended up having a nap after that interview because it just wiped me out so much. And then I woke up to the election and basically had it on all night after that. I then got started on some dinner.
So I've got leftovers from a roast and I'm planning on making a like orzo dish with it. So I've cut up some aubergine and courgette as well. In the roast leftover, we've got leeks with pancetta, peas, and a broccoli leaky cheese type thing. So that'll just go quite nicely. I've just like chopped it up a little bit smaller so that it all just blends in. And then I've also got a chicken leg, and then in here is the gravy, I guess, the stock that I'm going to use to cook the orzo in. So that will be really nice and flavorful.
I mean, one thing I can say forever is that me and Kamala Harris both got rejected for our jobs on the same day. And genuinely, I think I'm more upset about the US election results than I am about my own rejections. But I have so much more to say on that, I literally don't even know where to begin. We ordered these really cute cushion covers off Vinted. They finally came, so I put them on there. And our tablecloth was due for a wash as well, so I put that in with my things. One of my flatmates' advent calendars just came. It's the Look Fantastic one. It looks so good. And while she was opening that, I had my dinner, which turned out so tasty. And then obviously I got another rejection, which only called for one thing, which was banana bread. I always seem to have 2 rotten bananas going, so banana bread it is. Luckily, it's like the easiest thing to bake ever, so I just did that quickly, and then we went to go and watch some fireworks, and then I stayed up all night watching the election. Sincerely, the unemployed grad.
This is your sign to not quit your job. No matter how frustrated you are, how mad you are, do not quit your job, especially if you don't have another job lined up. Because 2 weeks ago, I had an interview with Marriott, and she told me that I had the job, only for her to text me and tell me that unfortunately I no longer have that job. Then I had another interview downtown at a bar, but when I texted him to clarify that start date, he left me on red and then blocked me. Another interview at a daycare, only for her to tell me that I don't meet the qualifications. Then this morning I wake up at 8:30 because I have an interview at 10:30, only for them to email me and tell me they've canceled my interview because they're no longer hiring candidates and they forgot they had their job posting up. Don't quit your fucking job. Talk to managers, figure out a solution. Dude, you don't quit your fucking job, dude. This shit is ghetto as fuck.
Do not quit that job. Do not quit your job. I was laid off
February 2024. I thought I was on top of the world. I was great, top performer at my company, got shout outs from our partners, great accolades from our managers, right? But it did not matter. I was impacted in the layoff. And that just went to show me that it doesn't matter how hard you bust your ass. It doesn't matter how many hours you give. It doesn't matter if you're working harder than that other person. Your name can get called. And it just let me know that I'm not in control. And this job market right now, it is nothing to sneeze at. It took me 9 months, almost the time it takes to develop a baby, to find an actual great salary job. And now I can finally work to paying off all of my debt that I've acquired during the 9 months of being unemployed. Do not quit if you do not have an immediate backup.
I want to give you all some insight into the job market because if you haven't dealt with unemployment, you probably don't understand this. And this is a time of year where a lot of people are like, new year, new me, I'm going to go do something new. I'm going to try to pivot into some new career. Let me just quit my job and focus full time on landing something new. I'm sure I'll get something quickly. And I don't think people are always ready for or like realistic about what's on the other side. Because for example, the average period of unemployment right now is about 21 weeks. And for a lot of people, it's longer. Like the thing that inspired me to make this video is that I just saw a LinkedIn post where someone said I just hit a year of unemployment. That's not an uncommon experience right now, especially if you're in more like corporate or tech roles, because those are fields that have cut a lot of jobs and have not added as many. And that also means if you are searching in those fields, employers are being really picky because they are getting tons and tons of applicants who have really great experience. Yes, there has been a lot of job creation, but a lot of it is in lower paying industries, and therefore it may not pay very well. It may not even be a living wage. A lot of the advice that people are giving is really outdated because they were job searching in a period where there wasn't this level of like automation and AI. When someone posts that they're open to work on LinkedIn, they are going to be flooded with bots trying to sell them some sort of like resume service or some auto applier or something like that. There are cases where people may be applying for jobs that don't exist or that recruiters from that company are never going to check because a lot of the job boards out there are just scraping jobs from company pages, but they're not actually pushing those candidates into the company applicant tracking systems. Or the company has even filled the role, but the job board doesn't take that posting down. And you'd be surprised, people with really awesome resumes, really great experience are having a difficult time in this market right now. So personally, I would say if you're currently employed, I would not quit my job until I had a new one lined up. If you have friends that have been unemployed for a long time, make sure you are checking in with them and see how you can support them because they are having a very tough time right now. And please, don't give people advice like, oh, just quit your job, you can find a new one. Don't say things like, oh, you're so lucky that you can take this break and relax for a little bit, because it's not relaxing to be unemployed. It's really, really scary. And they are probably doing more work than a full-time employed person trying to land that next job right now. If you want to support someone, make sure that the advice that you're giving is actually going to help them move forward and make some progress. So instead, look for ways that you can actually help the people around you. You can look at your company's job boards and see if you can make some referrals for your friends. See if you can make some introductions within your network to people that are going to be helpful to them. And just be aware of how difficult the situation is.
Okay, this advice is too late for you, but I just want to share it for anybody else who might be feeling that they need to do the same thing. Do not quit your job before you have another one. But Maddie, I'm stressed. I get it. But listen to me clearly. Do not quit your job. Here are some other things that you can do before you quit your job. First is FMLA. FMLA does not mean it's going to be paid, but at least if you're like, damn, I cannot get a job in 16 weeks, I gotta go back to work, your position will still be there. You can get FMLA by talking to a therapist or your doctor. You're stressed. It's making you ill. You gotta be put on some antidepressants because of work? Go to the doctor. They do it a lot. I've had it done and know plenty of people who have done this. When you get on FMLA, you can also apply for short-term disability. That is when you actually get paid. That's what you need for that. A doctor's note. How many doctor's notes? 1. It's the same thing for the FMLA. I'm stressed. It's making me ill. Mental health is still health. I'm not gonna say you're 100% always going to get guaranteed that you're gonna get FMLA and that you're gonna get short-term disability, but you know what? It's better than quitting your job and not being able to find one. To be fair, when I got FMLA and short-term disability, it was genuinely because I was dealing with postpartum depression, but I was actually shocked at how easy the whole process was. And there's so many people who are just like, I'm stressed, I'm quitting my job. Whoop, I stop them right there. I say, stop right there, stop. Because there's nothing more stressful than being unemployed.
I mean this from the bottom of my heart right now. If you don't like your job right now, do not leave.
I couldn't have said it better. Do not leave your current job for the rest of the year and early next year. It has a way of repeating itself. Back when we had another election, the economy lost 140,000 jobs in December. Of course, we can never predict that's exactly what's going to happen again, but for sure, companies won't be hiring for the next few months as dramatically as they do in the new year. If you have a job you hate or a boss you can't stand, my best advice to you is to stay put for the next few months because things won't get better until early next year, okay? Good luck.
You should not even consider leaving your job if you haven't done this. So let's say you're a high-performing, ambitious professional. You actually enjoy what you do, but you really hate how you feel. So you're like, it's gotta be the environment and I gotta get out of it. But when you take a little assessment of why you have to leave, you may discover a few things. Like the fact that you respond to people in 0.5 seconds, never say no, and work nights and weekends in order to prove yourself. This race to prove yourself is never ending. It just comes with you losing sleep and sacrificing your relationships. So why exactly do you think a new job is the answer? If you're a people pleaser, let me know how the first 90 days in that new job, when your favorite word is yes, works out for you. The hard truth is that a new job is not the answer for you. At least not right now. Might be a better time to start setting yourself up with some better habits. Ones that allow you to perform at a high level and then shut off when you're off. If you truly want your health, happiness, and confidence back, running away from the problem, isn't the right solution.
We're approaching the end of May and I'm still unemployed. In the past month alone, since April, I put in about maybe 400 applications across many different sites for many different roles. I finished my master's degree last month. I've not received an invitation for one interview since then. I've applied for so many entry-level roles, retail roles, sales roles, recruitment consultants, tailored my CV for every single one of these roles. I have not received one invitation for an interview yet. Honestly, I just give up with the whole thing. Like, I honestly do not care anymore. The job market is absolutely cooked. In the UK, it's done.
This is so crazy. I did not spend 4 years getting a degree that I even had to apply to get in at a top business school in the state of North Carolina. And for me to still be employed 3 months later is literally insane. I have the experience. I have the skills. Like, I have the personality for any job that I want to in the field that I want to. I don't know what is going on. I'm telling these companies like my story and like what I can bring to the table, and I just feel like I'm just not being heard because it's just one thing I don't have or something. It's like, well, then if I don't have it, then train me. Like, that's what it's for. Like, I'm an entry-level position. Train me. I'm really fast in learning. I'm eager to learn. I'm eager to learn more skills so I can have a good career. Like, what is going on here?
As someone that's in South Africa, I just want to say, don't quit your job if you are in the US. If you are a writer, if you work in marketing, if you work in a job that can be done remotely, do not quit your job. Don't do it. Don't do it. Every couple of months, I see so many jobs that flood like the South African job posting sites, and they are remote, and they are either offshoring companies or direct, like companies from the US, the UK, Australia, Canada, looking for South Africans to work. Like, they're like, hey, we want to hire you. So that's scary. I would keep my job if I were you. And I say this because if you worked remotely and they're trying to save or cut costs, they will most likely look to other people who are cheaper. And I'm seeing this a lot. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I'm seeing a lot of this, especially for startups, medium-sized companies. I've seen this with a big company, and I don't think I can actually say the name here. Oh my gosh, and I almost applied for the job actually. This is actually marketing as well. And I was like, they don't have offices in our country, so what's going on? That scares me. So I don't know what's going on with you right now. I know work is horrible. Keep your remote job, okay? And I mean, even data scientists, even engineers, like, right now, currently, like the clients I have where I work, I only have one South African client, right? All the other people that I work like or help, they're overseas, the UK, US, like wherever. It's not in my country. So, and my life has been this way for quite some time. Like, I haven't really had to work for a South African company in a really long time. So I'm just saying, hold on to your job. And the more inflation gets bad, I notice more and more of these jobs just fill our sites. And yet again, I'm seeing this with marketing a lot. I'm seeing this with engineering a lot. I'm seeing this with jobs that you can do remotely. I'm seeing this with customer freaking service. I'm seeing this with call center jobs. What is happening? There's like some interesting migration happening to, and I'm sure it's not just South Africa. I see this with other countries, right? But obviously the common thing is it's a country that has a cheaper, or like, yeah, like the living standard, like they don't have to pay us a lot, the salary they pay you basically. So they're saving a lot of money, and I don't blame them. So keep your job, okay? Because you are no longer competing with your people. You're competing with people outside of your country. And it's hard to compete if the place you are applying just wants to save money and they feel like AI could do your job. So they might as well give it to someone else who is slightly more expensive than AI, but they're still human. So it's like a middle ground. You see how dangerous that is now? So instead of going AI, the AI route, you're like, I still want a human being, but AI is cheaper. So, let's get someone we'll pay cheaper who's still qualified. Like people here in our country, like we have a lot of graduates, and I mean people PhD level, a lot of people in our continent. So if we're really competing, it's getting a little interesting. I'm concerned. I'm really concerned. Especially when it's cheaper. So keep your job. Pivot. I don't know. I really don't know what's happening. Also, there's a silver lining with everything that's happening, and I really believe we're entering like some sort of era or time where more and more people will have the opportunity to like run billion-dollar companies, right? And that's crazy. As in, it'll be like one person running this company. It doesn't have to be multiple people. Like think of Telegram, for example, right? Telegram like has what, like 30 employees or something like that running it, which is crazy because it has literally close to $1 billion US like net worth. That's crazy. So there's an opportunity, I guess, to cutting costs. And now that we have AI, it allows us to do that. Now that we are, global citizens and globalization is taken over like the way it has, you have the ability to cut costs and look into other countries to hire or whatnot. But like, scary. Like this is going to affect a lot of people in the long run. Like I do believe talks of having like a universal income at this point would make sense, because you're literally taking so many opportunities away from people. What do you expect them to do? And yet I think there'll be politicians confused why lawlessness is increasing, why crime rates are increasing. Like you're pushing people like to the corner, like you're literally triggering people. Of course people might retaliate at some point. And let's be honest, the world is going to be more and more connected, which means you're no longer competing with a person in your country for a job. For that job, if you are a United States citizen, it's no longer, oh, I'm competing with Dennis for a job and I'm in Florida and they're in LA. Like, it's no longer that. It's you're competing with me and I'm in South Africa. And I will most likely not ask for the salary you're going to ask. And if your job can be done remotely and I can work remotely, I have great internet service, why would they not choose me if I have a similar experience with you? I don't even have to be, like, there are companies that are literally offering to train you. Like, don't worry, as long as we pay you this amount, we're going to train you. You're going to, it's almost like they're offering the perks saying, you get to work with a US company that is like this and that. You get to have this kind of portfolio. Yes, the salary will be little, but you get to work from home. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's scary. And you don't even know the kind of people you're competing with. It's no longer fair because your standard of living is so high. I can easily just ask for like here there are people that survive off of $1,000 US. That's crazy. That is insane.
This comment says, the last interview I had was in November, 80 applicants for a skilled job. There just aren't enough good jobs and barely enough crap jobs. So the job market absolutely sucks at the moment, especially in the UK with the economic climate. Companies just don't want to come to the UK and create jobs. But can you blame these companies? The UK is in absolute tatters. If you had a company, would you come and do your IPO here? Would you come to the UK and create jobs in the UK? We can go anywhere in the world. A lot of these companies now, they have an international presence. They don't have to be based in the UK. The tax laws are not advantageous in the UK as well. And the economy is not progressive. It's been falling for years. So I don't blame these companies when they're going and taking their operations to other countries like the USA, like the Mediterranean, like Europe, like India, like China. But that doesn't bode well for people who are in the UK are looking for work, especially if you are a skilled worker and you've been able to find jobs relatively easy previously. It's a massive shock to the system. But I don't think you can blame companies for this. I think the only people you can really point the blame at is the UK government and the climate and economy that they've created, which disincentivizes employers coming to the UK. So I can't blame the employers. I think this is a result of many years of economic collapse and a weakening economy. But it absolutely sucks, I agree, if you are a worker and you're looking for a job and you just can't get one because everyone's fighting over the crumbs. And the joke of it is, the UK doesn't even pay great salaries. A lot of senior positions in the UK are less than an entry-level position in the USA. And you can talk about healthcare and all this other stuff. And I would much rather earn a higher salary and have to pay for my healthcare than have to rely on the NHS, which is just on its knees. I think it's going to get worse and worse, and this is just the beginning.
I've always thought that when you're in a developed nation, like, you never have these problems, And there are a lot of people that will leave our country to go into the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, looking for work. And now it's just no longer really the same. Like, you're going to be unemployed potentially if you lose the job you're getting to reach that country. If you lose the job, it's a risk. So, and it sucks because this is an experience that us as South Africans have had for so long. Like, the unemployment rate here is really high. Thankfully, I've never ever gone through the experience of looking for work and not finding it, right? For whatever reason, it's never been my experience. And perhaps it has a lot to do with the field that I'm in. I think marketing has a lot of jobs in general. I know this sounds really crazy. Someone might disagree with me out there. But I think there's just always a job in marketing. There's always a job in PR. There's always a job in communications. So it's quite funny that the very same degree that is kind of like seen as useless kind of has so many jobs, like especially sales, right? Like, sales has a lot of jobs. So I do find that the people that are unemployed are those that have like a geography degree or like something in mining, or, and I'm just like, okay, gender studies, right? So it's like, what are you actually going to do with your degree? And thankfully I'm using my degree, or my honors degree. Thankfully I am. But there are a lot of people who studied something and they've never been in that field. And I thought this was just only a South African experience. How is it possible that a developed nation is going through the same thing? This blows my mind. I'm actually so shocked about it. I'm like, dude, so there's literally no hope. Like, even if we leave this country and go anywhere else, which 9 times out of 10, I will highly likely never do that, because like the people that I know, like my boyfriend is in the UK right now, and it's not a good time. And he's like, no, you should come over, you should live here for a bit. And I'm like, dude, I'm just not going to do that. You just have to travel back here every 6 months. I'm not doing it. Like, it's not the life I want. So I know for a fact it's like, it would have to be like a life or death situation for me to pack my bags and relocate to another country. But I know that there are a lot of other Africans that obviously move from their countries into developed nations for work. But And I guess they're still finding a lot of success because of the kind of roles they're going into, right? Like I hear of a lot of African nurses. Of course they're going to find work because there are a lot of people leaving nursing, right? So there's more space to fill, which is scary. But yeah, I just didn't realize this is the global problem. I thought it was just something we're experiencing here and just unique to our country. But the more I'm on TikTok, the more I'm like, whoa, what is happening? It's scaring me. It really is scaring me.
Before you quit your job, you need to hear something. It is easier to get a new job, to get hired, to get a new offer if you are currently employed. It is harder to find a job if you are unemployed, which is bad news if you've been laid off or you're unemployed. And if you're unemployed, you know this to be true. It is easier to get a job if you are currently working, which means if you are miserable and you hate your current job, I want you to stick with it. I want you to remember this. It is easier to get a new job if you have a job. It's kind of like credit. It's easier to get credit if you have credit. I know, it's a whole trap. But anyways, I hope that helps. Don't go quitting your job without a new job lined up. For more tips on how to interview better, get an Interviewology profile to discover your interview style. Follow me, and good luck in your upcoming job search.
I get paid $61 an hour at my full-time job, and I run a small business. This is why I do not quit my full-time job for my small business. Reason number one, I get free healthcare. If you get free healthcare at your job, you're not going to get that when you run a small business. Yes, you might make some great pay doing a small business, but you're not going to get the same things that you get at your full-time job. For example, your full-time job can offer you consistency, set pay, set hours. If you have a job that offers free healthcare, don't get rid of that. Retirement benefits, personal leave, sick pay, PTO. Those are all the things that you will not get as a business owner. When you run your own business, you can pay for your own health insurance, but you have to pay premium prices. So I'm just going to encourage you, if your job offers you consistency, a set schedule, great benefits, retirement benefits, then I want you to reconsider quitting your job.
When I was younger, I've known of a lot of people that would leave their jobs to start a business. Even till today, there are people I know who do this, and I don't get it. Like, unless you're in a very strained position and you're like pushed to a corner, yeah, sure. But like most people are not like that. Like, you actually can stay at your job until your job makes you enough. I mean, your business makes you enough money. So like, I cannot imagine the pressure and the stress. And some of these people have kids. They have families. They have responsibilities that are crazy. Why would you leave your job until that business? And again, at the same time, I know there are businesses that need more of your time. So you could say, you know what? I need to be able to move on in order for me. I need to cut. I need the hours I'm spending at my job. Those 8 hours, I need to spend them in this business. And that's how I'll actually ensure that I make way more than I'm making in my job. I don't know. I think I've heard something like that, like some reasoning like that. And I'm just like, I don't know. Something about that doesn't sound right. I feel like that's a bit of like a red flag. Something is off at the business. I get growing. I get you saying for me to scale, I need to leave my job. But not to start and to actually be stable. I'm sure you can find a way. Yet again, I don't know. I'm sure there are many different types of businesses that require you to kind of let go, right, of your job. So what do I know? Especially for healthcare, you cannot just quit if your current job gives you healthcare benefits. Stay. Okay, even in South Africa, like just one bad hospitalization, honestly, can really, if you're on like medical insurance, you could have some pretty bad debts to pay off. So avoid it if you can. Okay. I don't know about staying because of retirement benefits. I, for one, have never had a job that gave me retirement fund benefits. Like, never. I've always worked in a very creative environment, like agency. So I've always had to find my own retirement annuity to pay towards. So it's always been, I've never even thought about it. Like, it's like, whether I'm here or not here, I'm going to pay and invest. I'm going to invest money into this retirement fund, right? and my taxable income, and I'm gonna max out my tax-free savings investment. I'm gonna do that whether I'm with you or not with you. But it is a nice perk, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a great perk to stay for, especially if leaving means you're not going to be able to put money like towards investing at all. Like if it means you can't save, you can't invest, you can't max out your tax-free savings investment or whatever that is, just stay. Like hold on until whatever it is that you're doing on the side at least gives you enough money to survive. Like it covers your expenses. And then, okay, you could kind of risk a couple of things and, you know, move. But I know a lot of people that would like start small businesses, like a YouTube channel, for instance, and then they start making a lot of money. What's a lot actually? Let's say anything over 4,000 US dollars, right? And then they're like, okay, I'm going to quit my job. I feel like that's so risky. I don't think I'd ever quit my job for $4,000. In fact, in my head, I go, okay, this is an extra $4,000 to invest. Let me continue working so that I can put even more money towards my investments, right? Like even if you gave me $1 million, I still don't want to leave my job because I'm thinking I can live on the least, I can live on the littlest like amount, like, and I want to take all that money, invest it, and put it to good use. So, but everyone is different. If you're in a very bad and toxic work environment, I think it's like I don't mind pausing my retirement fund and my investments to ensure that my mental health is good. Like if a job is gonna stress me out like that, I'm absolutely leaving. I'm not doing it. Like my mental health, like it means a lot. It means a lot to me.
I know you want to start a business. Don't quit your job. Use your job to fund your investments. Then use your investments to fund your business. Once your business makes as much money as you were making from your job, you can decide if you want to quit your job. The last thing you want to do is quit your job. You have no money to pay your bills, trying to make sales, that you're desperate, no one wants to buy from you, and now you're sunk. Learn the lessons about money that your parents and teachers never taught you. Download my free newsletter linked off the bio. Good luck. Take care.
I absolutely agree with him because I used to be the kind of person that would feel like, okay, I've gotten to a certain point in this job, but I feel like I can no longer really grow. And okay, sure, of course, sometimes really I had a very valid reason for walking away, and truly, really, that job was no longer really helping me grow. But now I look at it completely differently. Like I have kids, right? And I really look at my investments as my kids. Like I'm like, they're hungry and I need to feed them, and I'm feeding them money. So I think it's so important to hold on to your job if you can and literally use it to fund your investments, to fund your businesses, to fund whatever it is that you need, whatever idea you have. Be the one to fund your own business so you don't create debt. And I wish I had known this a little sooner, but at the same time, I think everything happens for a reason, and I was meant to leave the jobs I left, so no regrets.